Hi, thanks for joining us for this week's Crafternoon here at the Coronado Public Library. I'm Jacqueline Luna, your Adult Services Librarian, and for this week we'll be making these delightful winter birds. If you were unable to pick up a kit this week, all you'll need is a 12-inch strip of pleather, a small metal brad, and a piece of twine. These make a really fun and delightful gift to share with family and friends for the holiday, or a fun little piece of decor to hang on your holiday tree. All right, let's get started. In addition to what you have in your kit, which is your piece of twine, your piece of pleather, and your little metal brad, you're also going to need a pair of scissors, a pencil, and either a pushpin or a hammer and a nail in order to poke some holes into your piece of pleather. But to get started, we're just going to tie our pleather into a knot, and then we are going to outline our bird's head and its tail feathers. So, if you forget what a bird looks like, which is what I did the first time I did this, I included in your kit a outline of a bird, because sometimes I feel like under pressure you forget what you're looking at. So, we're just going to make that nice little bird outline. So that's my head. Draw a nice dot for the eye. And then flip it over and make your tail feathers. So you want to make sure you're kind of making this about the same length so that the head and tail are not too similar, so you don't have a small tail more than anything, because then it'll look a little silly. But with that said, you make your bird look however you would like it to look. There is zero judgment in this place. Okay, so we've got our outline all set to go. So we'll go ahead and untie it and cut out your bird beak and head and your tail feathers. So if you have a little red line on here as well, you can also just trim that down so that goes away. You're also welcome to leave it as a little extra piece of your bird. Trim that down. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my tail feathers. Perfect. Alright, so now we've got our bird with our head and tail feathers ready to go. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. We're going to find the middle of our, or actually easier to fold it in half upside down, and mark the very middle with your pencil, because that is going to be where our string comes through. So use your pushpin or your hammer and nails and go ahead and start wiggling a hole in your pleather. And it can help if you're using this to do a couple little holes around, just to make the hole a little bit wider, because you want it as easy as possible to fit your twine through. Okay. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just making this hole just a little bit wider. Perfect. So that should be nice and easy to get our twine through. And now we're going to go over to where our bird eye is and poke a hole through that as well. And I'd poke it through both sides just to make it a little bit easier to get those items through. So let's go ahead and we'll put the brad in the bird's eye. And I'm going to poke that through. Perfect, so there's our little eye. And then just go ahead and push the other side down so that's ready to go. And now, this part's slightly challenging, but I know you've got it in you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to push our twine through our hole here. And this is why I mentioned maybe putting making the hole a little bit bigger to make it a little bit easier. And I find it's easiest to fold your twine over and push the folded piece through. And you can also use your pushpin to help guide that if you need to. So if you need to push it through using your pushpin, that helps a little bit too. But then go ahead and pull it through. We're going to make a little knot on this side so it stays in place. We'll go ahead and trim off any excess here as well. Alright, so now we are going to retie our bird in the right way, which is always my most challenging moment in this. Because he never wants to tie properly, even though I've untied him a bunch. There we go. So, once you've got him tied correctly, you just want to make sure you've got your string on the top part of him, and you don't want to pull him too tightly in his knot because then it'll look kind of bunched up. But then we can make a nice little hanging holder right here by tying our twine up here into a loop. And you have a nice festive hanging bird that you can enjoy in your home. Alright, thank you so much for joining us for this week's Crafternoon. Have a wonderful day. This makes a great gift to give out as well. So, have a wonderful day.